My name is John. I was fortunate enough to call Paulette my mother-in-law. And well, it doesn't matter what role Paulette played in your life, from sister to mom to aunt, to lady in the big yellow house with all the cats, to teacher, to friend. If you knew Paulette, then you're a better person as a result of it. 16 years. I think that number is pretty meaningful, and just keep that in mind throughout my remarks today. 16 years ago, Paulette was diagnosed with emphysema and given 2 years to live. But here we are, 16 years later. And why do you ask? It's one reason, because Paulette was a fighter throughout her entire life, for herself, but mainly for others. So let's go back to her childhood. She was raised in Bloomington with her 3 sisters, all which are here today. And when she was about 10 years old, something very traumatic happened. Her father left, disappeared, did not reappear for many years. So it was a traumatic event and caused her to fight for herself. And she didn't really know exactly how to do it at that point. And it might come as a surprise to you that knowing her later in life, she was one heck of a troublemaker. Got into lots of different trouble and got sent off to some different schools, including an all-girls Catholic school where I've been told she, with a friend, tied up a nun and took her keys and drove to St. Louis, I think. After being kicked out of that school, she went to some other schools and eventually graduated started her family and career. So that leads me to the next fight was for her children. So after Michelle and my wife Chrissy. So after a few years, divorced their father and was a single mom, and so raised 2 outstanding women as well as her niece Jenny, along with the help of her sister Susie. So that was hard. She worked very long hours. Was on a diet of government cheese and asparagus from the ditches around town, so I'm told. But she obviously succeeded in that role, as you can tell from her beautiful daughters and grandchildren. All right, so after the fighting for her children and turning them into successful adults, also helping her own mother and her illness and dying days, I think she was kind of exhausted, and that was about 16 years ago when she got the diagnosis. And so I don't know what she thought, what do I have left to fight for? And luckily she was given something incredible to fight for. She was becoming a grandmother for the first time. And that really, revitalized her life and completely transformed it. And that she dedicated the remaining 16 years to being the best grandmother that she could be. And, from when I first met her, all she talked about was Kate. It was completely enamored with her young grandchild, and would do anything for him. Chauffeur him around town and take him, turn him into an expert fisherman, and just shower him with love and affection. Some examples of her dedication as a grandma. She went with Kate to a Wiggles concert. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Wiggles, they are an Australian children's band, and I would strongly advise against seeing them in concert. Also, I mentioned that she'd taken fishing almost every day in the summers, and I think Kate will talk a little bit more about that here shortly. Kate's mother was a little worried about the water quality in that they were fishing from, and so she didn't want Kate to eat the fish. So the loyal grandmother that Paulette was, after she dropped Kate off, she would go to Long John Silver's, pick up some fish, and take it back to Kay to eat and say this was the fish that they caught. Apparently deep fried, breaded and deep fried. Yeah, and then speaking of fish, Kate had a pet fish, and Graham was fish sitting while they were out of town, and the fish died, and Graham was very distraught and what she was going to do. So she's like, I got to go replace this fish without him knowing. She purchased a replacement fish. The problem was it was the wrong color. But Kate, the young man did not notice the little switcheroo there despite the wrong color. So 5 years later, she was blessed with another grandchild, Owen, our son, and showered him with the same love and affection, and was very, very supportive, and was a rock for us during the difficult times of his autism diagnosis. And she was very supportive of us, of autism charities, as you can see from her obituary. That's where she liked some of her memorials donated, and one of the reasons she wanted to wear this shirt today. So didn't affect her love for him at all, and it made it even stronger. And then she got 2 more grandchildren, Harry and Delia, a couple years later, and loved them just as much. Would come over to Ohio for extended stays. And, they definitely loved their Graham. She also fought for many other people as well. As I mentioned, she and Drew mentioned as well, she was a teacher for over 30 years. So, giving that gift of education to thousands of students over the years. Some of them I've met today. All they knew Paulette was from her being a teacher, and they met enough to come and pay their respects today. Also adopted many pets over the years, and that wasn't for her. You might think, well, she just wanted companionship or whatever. That wasn't the case. It was from a genuine empathy for the well-being of those pets, and I know that full well because my wife the same way. It's always the concern about the animal. It's not self-motivated at all. And then she would just give money to anyone who asked, basically, or help. And you'd think that would be wasteful or fiscally irresponsible, but she just felt that they would need the money more than her, and she wanted to help whoever was in need. And because she was such a giver, Christmas was definitely her favorite holiday by far. And it was quite the sight to be seen. So Paulette and Susie would be buying gifts all year long. And then I remember my first Christmas was over at Michelle and Nathan's house. We went over there and walked in the door, and I'm not kidding you, there was a mountain of Christmas presents about 6 feet tall, so about as high as me, about 10 feet wide of presents and almost all of them were from Paulette and Susie to all of us. I'm the new guy. I figured, hey, maybe there's 2 or 3 for me in there, but I got like 15 or something like that. So I made out pretty well. Bringing that to me, I couldn't have asked about her mother-in-law. She never meddled in our business, drank beer with me, never gave me a hard time, drank beer with me. And I've been told, she often told Chrissy to take it easy on me. She'd call her up, just complain, John did this or John did that, and she'd, just take it easy on him. I mentioned she drank beer with me. I keep bringing that up because she's the only person on that side of the family that drinks beer with me. So, although Susie had some cocktails with me last night, so we'll fill it there. Yeah. She also loved to play games. I played euchre with her. That's when Chrissy and I first started dating. We'd come over to the VFW here and we'd play euchre. And with her, she loved Scrabble. I consider myself a fairly good Scrabble player, and I was never able to beat her. She was amazing at Scrabble. She liked to play pool. She actually went to Las Vegas to play in a pool tournament. So that was pretty impressive. Loved country music, most notably Alan Jackson and Toby Keith were one of her favorites. Definitely Alan Jackson. That was by far her favorite. And Toby is obviously the namesake. Toby Keith was the namesake of their cat. No, I think Kate actually gave Toby that name. Yeah, she had an amazing sense of humor, although always not always the cleanest. There were some children in the audience. I'll share just one. That's PG-13, I guess. On the first dinner I ever had with her, she changed the popular adage, close only counts and horseshoes and hand grenades. She changed it to horseshoes and STDs. And her sense of humor would always be followed by her just enormous belly laugh, and her whole body would shake. It's just it was just the most amazing laugh. I know every one of you in this room are probably familiar with that wonderful laugh. So in closing, like I said at the beginning, if you were lucky enough to know Paulette, she definitely supported you and fought for you no matter what role it was as a relative, that she was your grandma or aunt or mother or friend or coworker or just a random person that she met on the street that she cared for you and fought for you. And so I just ask you to do the same and just go out there and the people that are important in your lives, do what Paulette would do and try to help them and fight for them. So that's all I have. Thank you. God bless you, Paulette. We love you.